Hey there, folks, it's Joey with Review Roundup. I apologize, I haven't posted a video in several weeks. It looks like I'm nearing 300 subscribers, so thank you so much for your continued support of this channel, despite my not putting up any videos recently. I think the last video I put up was my review of Creed and Tomorrowland. Now in this video I'm just going to do a big catch-up on a bunch of reviews. I'm going to talk about Star Wars starting off. Star Wars I've seen 4 times on the big screen. It is currently the 3rd highest grossing movie of all time worldwide, earning $1.7 billion and still going fairly strong, though I don't think it'll beat Avatar at the worldwide box office. But enough of that. What do I think about the movie? Well, I think it's really good. I'm not going to say it's perfect. A lot of people, practically everyone, has pointed out at this point, it's a remake of Episode 4. This doesn't bother me, but I'll mostly talk about the good stuff that's in this movie. I mean, our new main characters that we have, Rey, Finn, Poe, Kylo Ren, they're all really compelling characters, and even though I love seeing Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher back, I gotta say I'm really excited for these new characters, and that's the best thing I could have hoped for with this new Star Wars movie was that, gosh, I'm really excited for new Star Wars characters. I mean, remember when we had to deal with Anakin Skywalker and that prequel nonsense? No more. So I think Episode 8 will be good. My big takeaway from this movie is, like, certain things are left unintentionally not unintentionally, but intentionally unanswered, because unlike the original Star Wars, they know at this point they're going to make 8 and 9, so they can leave open-ended things like that. But with Episode 4, there's a lot of parallels. Obviously, you got another Death Star type machine. Just, you got a main character who wants to get off where they are and all that stuff. Move on with their lives. Just a lot of stuff. A lot of connections. There's a droid that has very important information about an old Jedi. It's, it's a remake of New Hope. And I'm not going to say anything more than that, because anything more than that could possibly qualify as a spoiler. But otherwise, I think it's a good time. It's a good, solid start to what I think is going to be a great rebirth of this franchise. Now, after this, I saw the Hateful Eight, the new Quentin Tarantino movie. That's been getting a lot of press because of the treatment of it's pretty much its only major female character, for one, and then also because of its roadshow version. Basically, it's going to be it's being shown in 70mm format in a roadshow version that's got an intermission and an overture, which is pretty interesting. I didn't get to see the roadshow version. I went to my local AMC and saw it with a friend of mine and my brother. And we all came out of it like, yeah, it was really long, and I loved Ennio Morricone's score for the film. The performances were good, particularly Walter Goggins in the film is great. Samuel L. Jackson's, of course, really good in this. But it was got beautiful cinematography. It's really slow, and then once it gets to the quote unquote twist towards the middle of the film, I'm significantly less interested, and I just wanted the movie to end at that point. So that's my thought on Hateful Eight. I mean, if you're a Tarantino fan, maybe you'll have to just check it out anyway. It's not doing terribly well at the box office. It only made about $15 million opening weekend, which is not good. Harvey Weinstein had some high hopes for this particular film, and now admits that he should not have released this film a week after Star Wars, or a couple weeks after Star Wars, because that's just, yeah, don't do that. So what do we have next? We have The Revenant from Alejandro G. Iñárritu, who also directed last year's Best Picture and Best Director winner, and my favorite film of last year, Birdman. This film, he re-teams with Emmanuel Lubezki, who does some incredible cinematography. I mean, Gravity, Birdman, they're both great. And now with this film, those infamous, iconic, iconic, almost really long takes. Basically, you have Leonardo DiCaprio in the wilderness. You know, they got pelts and stuff. They get attacked by Native Americans, and he basically gets left in the wilderness by Tom Hardy. He's betrayed by Tom Hardy, and it's basically his quest to just try to get back home and, you know, get Tom Hardy, basically. This movie is 2.5 hours long, and boy, oh boy, did it feel 2.5 hours long. I can't even really call this a movie. It's more of an endurance test, is the line that I keep saying. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you know that I've posted basically that exact sentiment. I mean, I can't even say if I like the movie or not. It kind of happened. It's a well-made movie. Don't get me wrong. I think the performances are really great. What's his face? The kid, the guy who played General Hux, the dollar store Grand Moff Tarkin in Force Awakens, also has a role here. He's really good. Tom Hardy was my favorite part of this movie. That wasn't, you know, the visual component. And then Leo's good. But my thing with this movie is that this movie is I was trying to explain this to my mom. It's literally genetically engineered to get Leo an Oscar. Because you look at it and you're like, oh my god, look at how much he's suffering. And it's like, does it really have to be like that with every performance? And it's just at this point, it's like, alright already, we'll just give you the damn Oscar, you know? But he was good in it, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he was bad, it's just, it was clearly, this was clearly a case of, or at least the way the performance was, clearly a case of Oscar bait. However, don't let that detract you, because it is a visually stunning movie, and it does have other elements outside of DiCaprio's performance. So check it out at least once. I don't think I'll ever get this on Blu-ray or ever see it again. To me, it's like, it was just too painful to watch. I mean, he gets mauled by a bear. You know, I'm not even going to say all the stuff he does in this movie, because it's just, I don't know. It's pretty gross. That reminds me with Hateful Eight, Jennifer Jason Leigh. She does a good job in that movie, but a lot of people were criticizing the movie because, you know, she's the one predominant, you know, female character in the movie, and she just gets beat up all the time. But you can look it on the internet. You be the judge of that. We come to another. This movie was released last year, if I'm not mistaken. However, I only got to see it now because I was able to pick it up on Blu-ray, and that film is Ex Machina. And this, boy oh boy, I tell you, that's a great movie right there, Ex Machina. Excuse me. So, Ex Machina, basically you have Domhnall Gleeson, who, same guy again. He was also in Force Awakens and The Revenant, and he was also in one of my favorite movies of 2014, Frank, which had Michael Fassbender. In this movie, he plays this coder, and he gets an offer basically from his, the owner of the company that he works for, which is basically like a sort of Google. And he comes over to this guy's really reclusive house, you know. And the owner of that house is Oscar Isaac, who is also, of course, in Star Wars The Force Awakens. So, again, more Star Wars connections. So he visits this house and he sees that the guy has an AI, and he wants him to pull off the Turing test. You know what they did in Blade Runner, and basically to test the AI out. Jeez, man, visually, this movie was really impressive. Just not even just like I say special effects for Ava, for the AI, but it was so convincing because a lot of it actually, they put a lot of that material together. They probably had to they filled in the gaps here and there, but a lot of that, it looks so real because some of it, it is real, and it's done in such a convincing, convincing manner. And it takes itself. It's a great screenplay, well acted, well directed. I think it's really one of the best, like science fiction movies I've seen in quite some time. Alright, so I'm going to do another video, hopefully soon, about the Man with No Name trilogy, also known as the Dollars trilogy. I was going to put in review Roundup, but I didn't want to talk about all three films. I had seen Good, the Bad, and the Ugly before. It's a great movie, but I wanted to talk about the other two films at length. So hopefully I'll see you guys soon with another review.